Welcome to the Daily Dose. My name is Patricia Baronowski-Schneider. I'm the CEO of Pristine Advisors, investor relations, public relations, media relations, and marketing firm with over 3 decades of working in a wide variety of niches across the globe. Today we're going to talk about what the 7 P's of marketing are. By following these examples, I'm going to show you how people will be begging to buy your products and throwing their money at you. But first, let me remind you to click the like and subscribe to this channel. Confirm once you do that, and I'll be happy to send you a free copy of my book, Digital Marketing Blueprint, just for signing on. This is a book that people beg me for, and I'm going to give it to you for free. Now, let's move on to the 7 P's of marketing. Those include product, price, promotion, place, people, process, and physical evidence. Now, let's start with your product. What is it? Why should people care? What value does it bring to the table? Let's say you have a hair shampoo product. There are thousands of them out there. So why should I choose yours? Is it better for my hair? Better for the environment? Is it made with all natural ingredients? Does it employ people in need? Anything that can help you stand out, that needs to be highlighted. Price. Is your price competitive? Is it lower than your competitor? Is it higher? If so, why? Promotion. How are you planning to promote this? Online ads, media, commercials, billboards, word of mouth, celebrity endorsements? Place. Where are you planning to promote this? Where's your target audience? How do you plan to reach them? What methods will you consider to reach them? Now, people. Who will your product be a best fit for? Who would or should care about this? Who can you use to help promote this? Process. What's your planned process for this product or business? This needs to be mapped out in advance so that you can plan. Now, physical evidence. If you have, let's just say, a beauty cream, do you have client testimonials, before and after photos? If you have a shampoo product, again, do you have client testimonials, before and after photos? If you have a furniture business, again, can you show the benefits? If you're a dentist, same thing. Or a financial company, can you show positive statistics to highlight why people should choose you? Marketing goes a long way, and it's a process. It's not a one-and-done thing. It's planned and tweaked along the way, but it's necessary to get you front and center. Now, there are more P's as well. Promise. Many people will promise you something, the same way I promise results for my work. All the big companies do this. You know, these companies that spend millions of dollars on 30-second commercials, they need to hook you immediately. They need to hook you within the first 5 seconds. That's exactly what I did in the beginning of this video. I made you a promise to send you a copy of my book if you subscribe. I told you what you were going to get. It's important that at the very beginning, whether you're a person, whether you're doing a video, whether you've got a sales page, that you set the tone up front with what you want. It doesn't matter how good your sales pitch is or how your close are if they don't ever get it. So if you don't hook them in the very, very beginning, if you don't set the tone in the very beginning, then you're not going to go through your presentation and you won't sell anything at all. Now, you got hooked in the beginning of this video because I told you that people were going to be begging to buy your products and throwing their money at you. And that's what you wanted. So you continue to listen. So that's an example of that promise. The next P is P of picture. You've got to get them to picture themselves, getting the results, getting what they want. I used to be in the food industry way back when. I would do to get them, get them to picture a particular food. I would ask them questions like, when you put this food out on the table, who do you think will be the first person in the house that'll notice the new dinner and say something to you? And they would reply like, oh, it's going to be my husband, Joe. He's always investigating what I'm feeding everyone. He notices everything. But what I actually did is I got them to picture that food on their table, where I would ask them questions like, do you normally serve dinner with a salad and dinner rolls and some music? And you'd always see their eyes go up. And they would think that I knew as soon as their eyes went up that they were thinking, that sounds delicious right about now. Maybe I can buy that for dinner tonight. If they answer me directly and say, I normally have rice and salad, I knew they would normally eat like that. Or if they just looked at me directly and said, no, I don't. I'm out of the box type of person. Either way, though, they were picturing that food on the table, and that's exactly what I wanted them to do. People buy in emotions and then use logic to confirm their emotions instead of the other way around. They don't logically make a purchase. If you think about somebody buying a car and they're trading in a car, but they don't actually need a car. They already have a car. In most cases, people never needed to buy a car. So I would hear people say, I don't really need a car. I knew that already because they drove in, but they did need a car. It was very rare that somebody took the bus or a cab to the car dealership to go buy a car. They just wanted another car, and they wanted emotionally to have a car that was prettier, that had more amenities, or that people would look at. So, it was really an emotional thing, and I knew that. And knowing that, you stay away from the logical things because there's really nothing logical about buying a car if you already have a car. The third P is proof. Okay, so what's proof? Proof is, if I'm going to give you some information, like I'm giving you information in this video, I have to prove to you that it's valid. Now, how do I do that? I prove to you by saying, hey, I've been doing this since 1988. I've helped clients in every niche all across the world. And on this channel, I show you how to do it too, okay? So what I did is I gave you that proof right up front, and then you bought it and you said, well, she's already done this. She's helped people all over the world. She must know what she's doing. She's been doing this since 1988. That's a lot of years, so maybe I should listen to this video. And this is the third one I provided you with proof. And that proof was enough to keep you watching this video. Now the last P, and that's probably why you watch this video, is for the pitch when you're actually trying to get them to say, yes, I want to buy your product and work with you. Yes, I'll take your services. And that's really the smallest point of your sales presentation. A lot of people think I've got to spend 90% of my presentation convincing them to buy my product. In fact, you really don't. If you did the other three P's correctly, by the time you got to this pitch, it's not that hard to actually sell somebody on something because they've already mentally bought into it. Then they get to that stage. Now the pitch is still required, you still have to ask them to buy your product. So let's get into that real quick so I can show you how to do that. These steps are sometimes known as the SD7. If you incorporate these principles into your sales presentation, then you're going to be a whole lot more successful if you don't include them. You won't close as many sales, include as many of these 7 as you possibly can. The first one is scarcity. If there's a product and there's not a lot of them, the person looking at the product is going to say, oh my God, there's not much of this. I want to get this before it's gone. Now, let's just say in the case of cars, sometimes you can trade in a car and that would be a beautiful car and have low miles on it and all of this. You can say, hey, I've got this one car. It hasn't been through the shop yet, but come on the back. We just traded it in. We've only got one like this. It has super low miles. The owner was an 80-year-old woman. She barely ever drove the car. There's only one of these. It's a really nice car. So that scarcity would get people really interested in a car. And we're not talking about price. I wouldn't even talk about what a great deal it was. None of that stuff. Just starting out with a great product. It was the next thing you wanted to put in there is social proof. Any kind of social proof that you could put in there, survival food company. There's testimonies of people who have eaten foods and bought foods and gotten good results. And you can watch videos on these people and see what they've said about it. And that social proof really helps because people think, well, if other people like it, if other people had good results, then I will too. And the next thing is commitment and consistency. These things are super important. And we want to get people committed to buying your product. You want to be consistent in your message. So you have to ask the little qualifying questions like, where will you go with your new car? What will you do with it? You start telling us that all the things that they're going to do with it, and the trips are planning, and you know where the kids are going to be sitting in the car. In doing that, you're actually committing to buy, but they don't quite realize that. Of course, you want people to like you. If they don't like you, they're probably not going to like your product or they're not going to like your company. So you have to become likable. And the best way to do that is to listen to them and let them talk more than you. You also have to have unity. You have to have a meeting of the minds. They have to know that you're on the same wavelength as they are. You have the same thoughts that they do. And by doing that, you're having that unity, making them more likely to buy your product. Of course, the next step is authority. So like in the beginning of this video, I told you that I've been in this industry since 1988 and that I've worked with people around the world. And that, in effect, makes me an expert because I've already done it. You can look up my name on Google. You can find me on there. You can see all that I do. So I have that authority. And people want to buy from the voice of authority because they feel like they're going to give them good recommendations. As the title of my post says, been there, done that. I can assure you that in my 35 years experience in working in the industry, I've done it all and I've learned from many mistakes. I've learned so much. I can help you do what works best to get your story in front of the audience that matters most to you. You can find out more about me on my website, www.pristineadvisors.com. You can email me at pbaronowski@pristineadvisors.com, and you can reach me at 631-756-2486. Until next time.